You've probably heard it 1,000 times. You just need better work-life balance. Easy. But how come nobody really explains what that means and why it is completely impossible right now in our world with our current standards? Today, I want to talk about the 3 biggest myths and misunderstandings when it comes to work-life balance and why it feels like it's so out of reach right now. Because work-life balance is 100% possible for everybody, just not in the way that we're currently defined it. According to the Cambridge Dictionary, work-life balance is the amount of time spending doing your job versus the amount of time you spend on your family, on enjoying life. Sounds pretty simple and easy. It's just, last time I checked, we were all humans. And we can't just split everything in equal halves, which means or is leading us to the first misunderstanding, to the first myth about work-life balance. And that is that balance is 50-50. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna work. Balance doesn't look like equal halves. It shifts with your season, right? When you are a business owner in a busy launch phase, you'll naturally spend more times working. If you are a new mom with a newborn, you'll naturally spend more time with your newborn. Neither of these seasons is wrong, and neither of these seasons mean that they cannot be a work-life balance. It just needs to look different for both of them. And both of them are able to find your own version of their work-life balance, just not in a 50-50 split. Let's talk about the second misunderstanding when it comes to work-life balance. And that is, once you find it, it stays. Yeah. Haven't we all tried that? To find the perfect routine. We had it all laid out in our calendar. Everything was perfectly timed. And then it worked for like 2 days. The truth is, balance is dynamic. It's not a formula. It's not I'm going to spend 8 hours on this and then 7 hours on this and 5 hours on this and then I feel like I'm balanced. That's not how it works. Like, balance is more like a moving target. It's not a destination, right? It's moving with the seasons that I mentioned earlier, but it also moves based on your capacity and based on your responsibility, because your capacity changes based on your hormonal state. For example, with your female cycle, your capacity changes based on what season, again, you're currently in, but also your capacity changes based on your nervous system state. Also, responsibilities change. Imagine you're starting a new business, or you're moving places, or you're building a house, or you have a baby. All of these things require you to take on a new role, to take on new responsibilities. With new responsibilities, your work-life balance needs to be evaluated. Your work-life balance now is going to look different than your work-life balance next year. Which means, for example, that in one season, your work-life balance could look like a very strict morning routine, very strict evening routine. And then in another season, it could look like you're actually sleeping in and then you'll have more time for your family, etc. It really depends on your goals, your season, your capacity, your responsibility. So again, misunderstanding number 2, once you find it, you keep it forever and you never have to think about it. I'm so sorry, that's not how it works. You constantly need to redefine and adapt your version of your work-life balance to your actual capacity, season, responsibility. Let's talk about misunderstanding number 3. And that is that balance is about hours. Well, no, it's not about hours. It's actually about energy, alignment, and presence. Imagine we have 2 people. One person, or let's say both of these people, they have a business and they work 40 hours in their business. One of them feels energized and aligned, and one of them could feel drained and super unhappy and depressed. Both of them work the same hours. The difference between those 2 people is how they spend their time, not how much time they spend at work or at their business or on their business. It's how they spend their time. Another example. You could spend 2 hours per week with your family, but you could spend these 2 hours on your phone, not really being present, not really being energetically there, and afterwards you still feel like you didn't really spend time with your family. Or you could spend those 2 hours being super present, not being on your phone, but actually talking with your family. And afterwards you would feel like you actually spent time with them. So it's not about the hours in your calendar that you spend on certain things. It's how are you spending those hours? What are you doing during these hours? Are you present? Are you energetically here? I really want you to understand that work-life balance is not a math problem you need to solve. It's a rhythm that you're building. Like, you know it in business. When you are creating new offers, you constantly adapt that offer. You constantly adapt based on messaging, based on your ideal client. You're not just creating it once and then leave it there for the rest of your business life. That just doesn't happen. And it's the same thing with your work-life balance. It constantly needs adaptation, refinement. Again, based on your capacity, on your goals, based on your responsibility and season. So balance is not a math equation. It is actually a skill that you can learn. A skill that you can use over and over and over again to constantly adapt to your season, to your goals. If this clicked for you, definitely watch my next video where I'll break down the exact 6 skills that you need to create your own version of work-life balance over and over and over again. So click the link down below, watch the video, and share it with a friend who needs to see this.